Welcome back, college football and Hawkeye fans, to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog, the channel created by the college football fan for the college football fan, the only channel where we examine, discuss, celebrate, and honor all things college football across the entire college football landscape. I'm your host, Blair Parks. It's great to be back with you. Over the weekend, rivalry week came and went. That means the regular season has wrapped up. It is already in the rear view mirror. It just keeps going faster and faster each and every season. Very unfortunate. A little bit of a tear for most of us. But, that can mean only one thing. Welcome Conference Championship Week. That's right. That's what I got on tap for you today. This is my Conference Championship Weekend preview and picks episode. A lot of things still on the line for many of these teams who will be playing for their conference championships this upcoming weekend. A lot of seeding involved as far as for the 12-team playoff, which that field will be unveiled on Sunday afternoon. I can't wait for that. I mean, I've always been somebody who tunes in or listens in his vehicle each and every year, but this year being the inaugural 12-team playoff, that's going to be must-see TV on Sunday afternoon when the smoke finally clears and we get that 12-team playoff field as it is unveiled. Can't wait for that. Now, like I said, there's a lot to play for. Most of these teams, especially in the Power Four, as far as those four conference title games, their participants, and most of them, are already going to be in, whether it's win or lose. But for two, if not potentially three of these conference championship games, it's going to be winner take all. Win and you are in, lose and you are out. Aveda Zane, adios. Whatever, however you want to word it. All right. And so there is a lot on the line. Like I said, it could definitely affect the playoff seeding, but it looks like no matter what, the powers that be want that fourth SEC team in the playoff field, and they have made, their plans to get that fourth team in from the mighty SEC, which yours truly, I don't believe that they're deserving of a fourth team. They're just not, in my humbled opinion. But I can't wait to see that unveiled, and I definitely plan on having an instant reaction and recap episode on Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, in response to that college football playoff field. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So before I get into my preview and picks for these upcoming conference championship games, I just want to say thank you, as I always do, to you, my college football brothers and sisters, for your continued support, your time, your attention, because without you, none of this would be possible. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to be here with you on the weekly, sharing my love and thanks and passion and desire for all things college football. Remember, you are the ones who drive these episodes, so I do always ask for and encourage your participation. Please get involved. Comment below to any of the hot takes that I say, any of the facts that I present, or my opinions. I can't wait to hear from you, so please light it up, get involved, like, share, comment, subscribe, get those notifications to where my newest episodes are updated so you won't be last to the dance and you won't be the one missing the bus. So go ahead, smash that button, like, share, comment, rate, subscribe. All right, and I want to give a big shout out to my previous episode, my reaction and recap to the Black Friday matchup between Iowa and Nebraska. I've received a lot of good comments from all of you members of the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog family. Especially want to give big shout out to all the Nebraska Cornhusker fans. I always enjoy hearing from the opposing team's perspective, their opinion, what they think about the game, and they did not let me down. They came out in droves, so thank you very much, Big Red Nation. Really appreciate you. And as you can tell, I'm kind of nursing this little bit of a head cold still. I've got a basketball game. I've got a coach here in a few hours, so hopefully my throat can make it through. But hey, the things I sacrifice for the Touchdown Black and Gold family. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. My preview and picks for the 9 conference championship games that'll be happening. We have 3 on Friday night and the remaining 6 on Saturday. So let's go ahead and get started off with Friday night's games. And there's 2 of these 3 are very, very intriguing matchups. I cannot wait to watch the last 2 because there is a lot on the line. But let's go ahead and start off with the Conference USA title game. That would be Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers travel to the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Yes, the other Gamecocks, and not Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville, and Alabama. The Jacksonville State Gamecocks find themselves a 4.5-point favorite at home. And what I love about these smaller conference title games is that they're held on campus sites. I mean, I love how the higher seed gets to host, and I think maybe the Power Four should start looking at this, because I would love to see the better team get rewarded with hosting a conference title game, but we all know that's not going to happen because of the money involved, the advertising money. It's just a pipe dream, and I get that, but it would be great to see. So Jacksonville State, 4.5-point favorite at home. And if you didn't know, they are coached by the one, the only, Hot Rod. Rich Rodriguez is back in college football. This is only their second year, I believe, at Division I FBS. And obviously, having great success. Just like Barat would say, great success. So how do I see this game playing out? I love the Hilltoppers. I mean, they're battle-tested. They've been there before as a program. Just a couple seasons ago, my boy Bailey Zappi, zapping the competition, now in the NFL. But I like Jacksonville State. I have watched this team play a little bit this season, and they run that Rich Rod West Virginia offense, not the Michigan offense, to an absolute T. I love what they do down there. You know, they're well coached, a lot of athletes, disciplined team. So I like Jacksonville State to get it done at home and hoist the Conference USA championship trophy in their home stadium. Give me Jacksonville State. Now, this game, I already mentioned that there's 3 potential games, but at least 2 that are for sure known, all right, that are going to be winner take all. If you win, you're in. If you lose, you're out. And this is going to be one of them. The Mountain West Conference title game, number 20 UNLV under Barry Odom, former Missouri head coach. It's great to see Barry Odom have a bounce back success. I mean, he did a very good job as Arkansas's DC before he went out to Sin City to take over the Running Rebels. They traveled to the Smurf turf to take on number 10 Boise State. And Boise State finds themselves only a 4-point home favorite in this matchup. And that is very surprising. I mean, Boise State has been the darling of this college football season as far as the group of 5 teams and group of 5 conferences. But I've been telling you for weeks now that Boise State's best win was a 3-point loss against Oregon. They don't really have a great resume. It's weak, all right? So if UNLV finds a way to defeat them, they're going to grab that playoff spot, and Boise State is going to be left wondering what the hell happened. I mean, they have a stud, a legit Heisman Trophy finalist in running back Austin Genty, but beyond that, I don't know. And it seems like America has crowned them the participant no matter what happens because of Austin Genty's performance. I mean, he is just an absolute man among men. But these 2 teams did meet earlier this season in Sin City, and Boise State did win, I believe, by 4, maybe 5 points. But a very close game. UNLV led in the 4th quarter. And when I look at these 2 teams, all right, Boise State absolutely has the best player, and Aston Genty. But when you look at who these teams have played, there's really no comparison. I mean, UNLV has defeated not one, not two, but three Power Four teams, and they played a fourth. They defeated an opening week. They won at Houston, who, yes, I know is not a world beater, but still, they went on the road and defeated a Big 12 team. A couple weeks later, they went on the road yet again and defeated Kansas at home. And yes, that's the Kansas team that down the stretch knocked off BYU, knocked off Iowa State, right? And then later in the season, even though they're not officially a member of a legit real conference, but one of the two members of the Pac-12, Oregon State, who to me still is a Power 4 team, they defeated the Beavers as well. They did lose at home by 3 in overtime to a really good, now ranked Syracuse team that just defeated Miami over rivalry weekend. So this UNLV team, I think they're going to give Boise State all they can handle and more. They held Aston Genty to a very low, I think actually was his lowest rushing total of the season earlier this year. And down the stretch, Boise State has been winning. They've been taking care of business, but they haven't been blowing anybody out. So that's right. I like the upset here. I'm taking UNLV on the road to find a way to knock off the Cinderella story, Boise State Broncos at home on the blue turf. Give me the Running Rebels to run home with the Mountain West Conference Trophy title game. Sorry, I had a little. I'm telling you, these head colds, guys, they just can't get over it. All right, now the next game on Friday night. This is the American Athletic Conference title game. Tulane, who was ranked 2 weeks ago, but they lost last week in their rivalry game at home against visiting Memphis, so they are no longer ranked. But Tulane travels to upstate New York to take on number 24 Army. That's right, Army is back in the rankings. I mean, what a great season, one of the best stories in all of college football, the success of Army with only one loss this season at the hands of Notre Dame. Yes, it was a very sound victory for Notre Dame, but they get to host the American Athletic Conference title game. What a great moment for the Cadets. I mean, if you've never watched a game in Michie Stadium, you're in for a real treat there in West Point. I mean, they get down, they celebrate. You would expect the patriotism, but the fandom of the Cadets, all right, it's really next level, and I cannot wait to watch this on Friday night. I'll be watching both of those games. I believe they're on at the same time, so I'll be doing a lot of flipping. But how do I see this game? All right, an Army is a 5-point underdog in this contest. Sorry, I almost forgot. So Tulane probably is the better team. All right, I believe they're 9-3. All right, their losses, not bad losses at all, I believe, to Kansas State, Oklahoma, and then Memphis, as I mentioned. But I like Army at home. I just cannot go against the Cadets here. And the troops, how could you? But there is one advantage that Tulane has over Army, all right? Yes, maybe the talent gap is usually going to be a little bit wide when it comes down to facing one of the cadet programs, all right, one of the armed forces. But here's the other thing. Earlier this year, Tulane faced a fellow option wishbone team in Navy. They went to Navy and shut them out. I believe the final score was 35-0. So Tulane's already seen an offensive attack like Army's. So that could be a huge advantage for the Green Wave. But I'm going with Army each day and twice on Sunday. Give me the Cadets. I hope you get it done. And you need to ask yourself, unless you're a fan of Tulane or a family member or friends on the team, or if that was your alma mater, how could you go? If you're a real American, you got to go with Army, okay? So give me Army. Go Cadets, go Black Knights, get it done. We're all behind you. I salute you. All right, those are the 3 games on Friday night. Let me know what you think about my takes on those games. Like I said, that UNLV Boise State game, that is huge. I mean, huge implications for the college football playoff. All right, moving into Saturday's games. First out of the gate, taking place at Ford Field in Detroit, the MAC championship game, the Middle American Conference. We have the Ohio Bobcats take on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. Miami of Ohio is a 2-point favorite in this game. Little question, little FYI here, just so you know, Ohio, they have been in this conference title game 6 times previously in their history, and they have come up short each and every time. So maybe analytics is saying, hey, possibly the Bobcats of Ohio are probably overdue, so I think they're going to win. I don't know about that. I would love to see that happen for their program's sake, but I told you all, preseason during my crystal ball prediction show and my big predictions, my crystal ball, I told you that Miami of Ohio was going to be one of those legit, solid teams from the group of 5. There's no way I'm going back on my word now. I'm taking Miami of Ohio. They do have a Gabbert at quarterback, Blaine Gabbert's little brother. Give me the Redhawks to take down the Bobcats. Then they become 0-7 in the MAC title game appearances. Give me Miami of Ohio, big, to win the MAC trophy. Go Redhawks. Next game, another one. This is the other guaranteed win and you're in conference title game or lose and you're out. It's just the way it's been set up. How the college football playoff rankings, how they were unveiled earlier this week. I'm talking about the Big 12 championship game down there in Arlington in Jerry World. Number 16, Iowa State takes on number 15, Arizona State. Both of these teams have 2 losses. They're 10-2. And the Big 12 was just so full of parity this season. And I think the reason why is because every team is really similar to each other. There's not really a different style of play, and they're all so equally balanced. And also with unfair and unbalanced scheduling, the better teams really may not end up playing each other. That's why there was so much parity. They really cannibalized themselves. So it looks like the Big 12 is only going to get one representative in that college football playoff field, the winner of this game. So there is a lot riding on that. Now, I will say right now, I believe that the Big 12, are they worthy of getting an at-large bid? I think so, but we're going to have to wait and see how things play out after Saturday and then when things are unveiled on Sunday afternoon. But anyway, back to this matchup. Iowa State, really good team. Preseason, in that bold predictions episode, I also picked Iowa State to win the Big 12. Some people thought I was a Looney Tune. I was crazy, but here we are. And it looked like for most of the season, starting 8-0, that, hey, they were well on their way to that. Or I think they started 7-0, excuse me. So they were kind of on a collision course with BYU, but both teams fell off a little bit. Iowa State did recover after back-to-back losses. And Arizona State, I mean, and I've been saying this now for a couple weeks. Down the stretch, there are 3 teams that nobody should want to face or be looking at across the field on the opposite sideline. South Carolina has been hotter than Texas chili. So has Notre Dame, and so has Arizona State. No team in the Big 12 the last 6 weeks of the season has been more consistent than the Sun Devils and Sparky from Tempe there in the Arizona State Sun Devils. So what do I think? Now, unfortunately, Arizona State's best wide receiver will miss this game. And not only is he their leading receiver, but he basically has 2 times more receptions than anybody else in their receiver core. So a big weapon is out for young coach Kenny Dillingham and his squad. And when it comes down to it, I like Iowa State. I mean, I did pick them preseason to win the conference, also to knock off Iowa like they did. So I'm not going back on my word now. All right. I saw it coming. I forecasted it. I love this Arizona State team and how well they've played down the stretch. They absolutely deserve their opportunity, their shot to get into the playoff field, to get a seat at the table. But I just like the Cyclones. I think they've had a lot of adversity this season, a lot of injuries. They found a way to win, and I picked them preseason. I want to claim to be right. So I'm taking the Cyclones to get it done and make the college football playoff. Give me Iowa State. Next game. A game that you have two good teams, but not really a very intriguing game to me because both of these teams are going to be in the playoff field. It just kind of comes down to seeding and maybe getting that coveted first round bye. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting through it. We'll get there together, I promise. I'm talking about the SEC title game, which is going to happen down there in Atlanta between number 5 Georgia and number 2 Texas. Texas is a 2.5-point favorite in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Now, this is a rematch of earlier in the season. Georgia was able to travel to Austin, handle Texas in Austin, giving them their only loss of the year. Carson Beck threw, if I remember right, 3 interceptions that game. Georgia was still able to get it done by double digits. Texas riding high after that win Saturday night on the road against Texas A&M in Kyle Field. But I still have some doubts about how good this Texas offense is. Their defense is completely legit, but their offense just seems to flounder and just spin their wheels more often than not. But we've also seen Georgia have some deficiencies this year as well. So it really comes down to, what do you believe? And I just think, based on the matchup earlier this year, and Kirby Smart and his staff and a lot of the boys on the roster have been through this. It's in Atlanta. It's 90 minutes from Athens, where the University of Georgia is. I like Georgia in this matchup, and I'm very comfortable saying that. I think Texas has come a long way. I was very, very on the fence about them being legit, but I said 2 weeks ago, if they beat A&M, they're in the playoff no matter what. Welcome to the party. You've got that chair at the playoff field, but I like Georgia to take care of business, win the SEC trophy, and get it done. Give me the Dogs in this matchup. Next game, the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. We've got the Marshall Thundering Herd on the road to take on the University of Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns, one of my favorite mascots in all of college football. I love the old Ragin' Cajun. And being a group of 5 championship game, this is hosted by the higher seed Louisiana. And the Ragin' Cajuns are a 5.5-point favorite at home. How do I see this game playing out? Louisiana had a really good year. I've watched them play. I have not watched 1 minute, 1 second, 1 play from the Marshall Thundering Herd. I believe they come in 9-3. But I'm going to go ahead and just call upon my inner Randy Moss, Byron Leftwich, Chad Pennington, and I'm going to roll with the Marshall Thundering Herd in this matchup because we are Marshall. Give me Marshall to get it done, to win on the road and win the Sun Belt Championship game in front of the home fans there in Louisiana, Lafayette. Next game up. Man, I am really struggling here, folks. I'm sorry for the coughs. I don't do any edits. I don't do any retakes. I do my own stunts because if I had to do all of that, well, that would be a job. I already have one. This is purely just hobby. And thank you for all that you do. So please like, share, comment, get involved, subscribe. Can't wait to hear from you. Next game up. 2 more to go. Then I'll put you through. I'll end this for you. I'm sorry that you keep hearing me cough and everything else, but the Big Ten title game, which now has lost a little bit of luster. This is between number 3 Penn State, who gets there due to Ohio State's shocking loss over the weekend at home to their arch rival nemesis Michigan, who now has won 4 straight contests over Ohio State. So because of Ohio State's loss, Penn State makes the conference championship game as number 3, and they take on number 1 Oregon. The Ducks, hands down, have been the best team for most of this year from start to finish. They find themselves a 3.5-point favorite, and this game is played inside the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. So how do I see this game going down? Well, I'm going to refer back to what I said during my crystal ball and bull predictions episode. Hey, good news and bad news here. I picked Oregon preseason to win the national championship game. A lot of people once again thought I was a Looney Tune, but that's looking pretty good right now. I did pick them in the regular season to knock off Ohio State and Eugene, which they did. But I did say Ohio State would return the favor in the Big Ten title game and defeat Oregon in that rematch, which obviously that's not going to be a possibility here. But I also said that I believe because of the expansion and the transfer portal, NIL, the unbalanced scheduling, and really through the transfer portal and NIL, the disbursement of talent, that nobody would end the regular season perfect 12-0. Well, I missed that because Oregon is the only perfect team in the nation. But I definitely think, I'm just going to go with that. I think Penn State is going to rise up and they're going to take care of business. I mean, I don't know if I trust James Franklin like a lot of Penn State fans do when it comes down to winning the big game. But I just think Oregon, they come into it, they really haven't been challenged for a very long time. Most of the season, it's been very, very easy for them, other than that 1-point victory at home over Ohio State. Now, Wisconsin a few weeks ago did challenge them in Madison, but I think a loss right here would probably be a good thing for the Ducks, just to get it out of their system, come out then in the playoff with a clean palate, start from scratch, maybe a little bit of adversity. I think that would do Coach Dan Lanning and his squad. It would be a big thing for them. So I'm going with Penn State. Hell with it. I'm going with the upset. Give me the Nittany Lions. The last time they were at Indianapolis in the title game, 2016, maybe it was, somewhere around there. Got down big early against Wisconsin. Second half, they came out firing. It's been good to them. I'm rolling with Penn State. Give me the upset. Give me the Lions over the Ducks. All right. Here, the last game that I'm going to talk about is the ACC title game, which goes down in Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is the third of that potential, hey, you must win to get in title game that's going to unfold on Friday and Saturday. Number 17 Clemson takes on number 8 SMU. The Ponies find themselves a 2.5-point favorite in Charlotte. Clemson is here because of the loss over the weekend of Miami at Syracuse. And Clemson also lost on Saturday to their rival, in-state rival, South Carolina. The Gamecocks went to Clemson, took care of business, but it didn't matter because it was not a conference game. So now we have, instead of Miami and SMU, Clemson and SMU. So SMU, I think if they happen to lose this game, I believe that they do deserve an at-large bid, but it looks like the ACC is only going to get one representative to the playoff. Clemson comes in with 3 losses on their resume, so if they lose this game, they're not going to be in the playoff. But SMU, I think they've done enough to deserve it, win or lose, but I'm probably wrong because, once again, measures have been taken, steps have happened to where the SEC is going to get a 4th team in, no matter what. It just seems that way. But The only way that probably doesn't happen is if Clemson wins this game and then SMU gets that at-large berth. Then I think that's the only way that keeps the SEC from getting a 4th team in the playoff. But what do I see with this game? All right. So Dabo Swinney and his boys have been there before. I think they've won, 8 straight? I think 8 straight ACC title games, I believe. They didn't win last year, though. That was Florida State. But at one point they did. So they've been there before. This is brand new to SMU and Coach Brent Lashley. I mean, this is their inaugural year in the ACC. And like it is, and that's really something else that's kind of on repeat here. When you look at these conference championship games, a lot of them are brand new participants in their title games. Actually, all 4 of the Power 4 conferences are. You've got Arizona State, a newcomer in the Big 12, making the title game. You have Texas in the SEC, same scenario, making their title game. And you have Oregon in the Big 10 in their inaugural season, making the title game. So it's something. It proves my point that because of unbalanced scheduling, divisionless football, NIL, transfer portal, dispersing the talent, we're going to have a lot more of this, more of equal footing to stand on and start from. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So this ACC title game, Clemson's been there before. SMU, there's a lot riding on this for them. I love the Ponies. Their only loss of the year at home against a very, very good BYU team by 3. I mean, they ran their schedule, went undefeated in ACC play. But this is a different animal. All right? If Clemson would have won last week against South Carolina, I would take Clemson without much hesitation. I have been lauding for SMU for weeks now that they deserve an at-large even if they don't win the ACC title game. But I just like Clemson in this spot. I do. I'm going with the experience factor of Dabo and his staff, his roster. A lot of them have played in these big-type games. I mean, it's in Charlotte, much closer to Clemson's campus than SMU's down there in the Big D of Dallas. I like Clemson to get it done in the ACC title game, and then we're going to see what happens. What is that going to do? It's going to force the committee to make a very, very tough decision. Will it be SMU with an at-large, or let a 3-loss SEC team in the playoff field instead? We'll have to wait and see. But that's how I see it going down this weekend. That is my episode, my conference championship game preview and picks. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, rate, comment below, get involved. I can't wait to hear from you. Seriously, I do all this for your listening and viewing pleasure. So please get involved. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you for your support. And I will be back on Sunday for that instant reaction and recap to the college football playoff field, letting you know, do I agree or disagree? Hey, this team's too high. This team's too low. This team should have been in the field. This team should have been out of the field, and everything in between. So definitely don't want to miss that. So click that button, subscribe, get notifications. So until then, best of luck if your team is playing this weekend in their conference title game. Best of luck to you. Thank you for all you do for the channel. Enjoy the rest of your work week, your school week. Peace, prosperity, love. And until this weekend, take care. Adios from the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. And as always, go Hawks. See you soon. Bye-bye.